Humans, the cardboard. Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Huge news. You got bedhead John this morning. I woke up 5 minutes ago. Let's get this thing going. Monarch support for Duelist Advance. The first guy already looks awesome. He almost looks like a Archfiend slash Monarch card, but that's sweet. Very curious what they decide to do here. This could be a classic example of with a whole new wave of support. Konami has hit a bunch of the floodgates on ban lists over the last couple of years. So can they push this deck into an actual more, you know, competent engine rather than just being a tribute summon a guy and then put floodgates up type deck? We'll see. But hopefully that's what we can see here. But anyway, starting off here, we start with Ados, the Underworld Monarch. This is a bigger version. I think one of the small ones is Ados. Cool. Level 6 Dark Spellcaster. Interesting. 2400 attack, 1000 defense. Of course, the standard level 6 stats. You can only use each of his 3 effects once per turn. All right. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can add one Monarch Speller Trap or monster with 2800 attack and 1000 defense from your deck or graveyard to your hand. That's good. Now, I wonder how much better the engine will be at like getting a monster like this out, but that is just a raw +1. That even means stuff like Monarch's Erupt is searchable off of this. A lot of the generic floodgates have been hit, but stuff like Monarch's Erupt still exists, which is terrifying. Second effect, you can declare one attribute, choose one monster on the field to become that declared attribute. Interesting. I'm not totally sure off the top of my head how Monarch takes advantage of that, but maybe some of the other cards in this wave of support will kind of make that a little more clear. As far as I can remember, it's not that crazy. All right. Third effect, if you tribute summon a monster with 1000 defense and 2400 or more attack, and this card is in your graveyard, you can either add this card to your hand or special summon it. I like that too. Wow. That means even on a later turn or even on your opponent's turn, being able to reborn this, get additional search. That's really nice. That's good value. I wonder the ruling on this. If you tribute this for a different monster, can this trigger engrave immediately? It doesn't say that. It doesn't have that clause that sometimes cards like this say that like, and this card is already in your graveyard. So this might be able to summon back immediately, even if you just tribute it off of a different one. This seems like a pretty good card in and of itself. It doesn't help you get to bonus tributes, but man, it's a searcher and a free body later on over and over again. And if it's on other turns, this card's reborning itself, and then it's getting you an additional search. This is a really good card for the grind game for sure. All right, next up here, we have a small one. The small ones are what I'm more worried about because I feel like the small ones would help us get going easier, but we'll see. This is Tessera, the Prime Squire. This is a level 1 light warrior. Okay, Rhoda's in the club here. 800 attack, 1000 defense. You can only use all of its 3 effects once per turn as well. You can reveal a Monarch Speller Trap in your hand to special summon this card from your hand. Okay. During your main phase, you can immediately after this effect resolves tribute summon one monster. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, special summon a monster with 800 attack and defense from your deck. Also, you cannot special summon from the extract for the rest of this turn. Ooh. Okay. There's a lot going on with this card. So already that third effect is awesome. That third effect's really good. So the first effect is fine. You probably are playing a decent number of Monarch Speller and Traps. You do have to have one in hand, which is a little bit annoying. You know, that doesn't make this like a 1-card line or anything like that. But being able to just go reveal a Monarch Speller Trap. I like that you reveal it. You don't have to discard it or anything, so you don't lose hand advantage in playing this card. You get this out super easily. It gives you the additional tribute summon if you had to normal summon this because you didn't have a Monarch Speller Trap, but just a Monarch boss, like a bigger name. And then when this card is, by the way, sent to the graveyard generically, that means you could even play Foolish Burial in the deck because now Foolish Burial just becomes basically E-Telly for any of the other squires. And then now you have Tribute Fodder. It's solid. I think this card's solid. I think this is a solid addition to the Squire lineup. Yeah, he's cool. He just gets you bodies without doing too much. Even like putting him on the board and then before you're locked, like making a link 1 and then triggering him in grave to summon another squire, you know, and then you have 2 bodies. It's not bad. I don't know. It's decent. And then that even sets you up to potentially get one of the level 8 guys, one of the bigger guys out. All right, cool. All right, now we're into the spells and traps. A lot can happen here with the spells and traps. The first one here is Scheme of the Monarchs. They already have a lot of good ones, though. All right, send 1 Monarch spell and trap from your deck to the graveyard, except Scheme of the Monarchs. That's already solid. There's multiple that have decent graveyard effects. I don't remember all of them off the top of my head, but that's still good. That's just Foolish Burial goods in this deck. If this card becomes banished, so I think some of the other spell and traps actually give you the ability to banish them. You can target a face-up monster your opponent controls as cost. Then add 1 monster with 2,400 attack and 1,000 defense that is the same attribute as that monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Then you can apply this effect. Normal summon 1 Zaborg the Thunder Monarch, Mobius the Frost Monarch, Thestalos the Firestorm Monarch, Grandmarg the Rock Monarch, Rise of the Storm Monarch, or Caius the Shadow Monarch. I think those are all just like the level 6 guys, right? Those are all like the baseline level 6 guys. So you do have to play the old names to kind of like make sure you're tribute summoning into them, but that's still pretty good. I don't remember all of the graveyard effects off the top of my head, but I know they have some decent ones. So I think that's actually a pretty decent card overall, because I think they also give you a way to banish this as well. All right, cool. Another spell here, we have Rebellion of the Monarchs, another normal spell. You can only use its 2 effects once per turn. Discard 1 card as cost. Reveal 3 monsters with 1,000 defense that have 800 attack or 2,400 or more attack from your deck. And your opponent chooses 1 to add to your hand. Then send the others to the graveyard. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn. You can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon 1 monster with 800 attack and defense from your 800 attack and 1,000 defense from your hand. Okay, this card's cool. This card's a little bit of like Jack in the Hand. It kind of gives me the vibes of, you get to pick. You have to discard, which is kind of a bummer. That makes this like a pretty rough Ash target, or Purge as well. But you know, reveal 3. They don't even have to be different. So if you do play 3 ofs, your opponent, you're just guaranteeing your opponent picks the one you want. Then the other 2 go to grave, which is also good because, like, if you reveal 2 of this guy, 1's getting sent to grave no matter what, and that means he's summoning another squire from deck, basically. So there's still good value in a lot of this card, because it's not just what you search, it's what you send as well. Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, I like that it can search all of them. This may even be able to access some of the other generic ones. I think even the, what is it, Majesty's Fiend and whatever, I think one of those is 2,400 attack, 1,000 defense as well, which makes this card, like cards like some of these searchers, like also really good. But very, very cool. Yeah, and then getting one back from grave or from hand is good, because even if you search a guy like him and you don't have the other Monarch spell or trap in hand to be able to pull him out of the hand, you can just pull him out of the hand for free at that point, which is cool. All right, I dig it. And then lastly, we have Culmination of the Monarchs, a continuous trap card. Each time your opponent special summons a monster and you control a tribute summoned monster, banish 1 Monarch spell and trap from your graveyard to activate 1 of these effects. You can only choose each of this card's names following effects once per turn. Oh, this is not once per turn at all. Wow. Okay. So you can only use each of these effects once per turn, but damn. Okay. So every time your opponent special summons a monster while you control a tribute summon monster, you have to have enough Monarch spell and traps engraved to facilitate this, but this card can once per turn, once per chain, right? Destroy a monster on the field, destroy 2 spell and traps on the field, discard a random card from your opponent's hand. That's crazy. Destroy 1 face down card on the field, return 1 card on the field to the top of the deck. Ooh, to the top of the deck is kind of nasty. That means in a grind game, you could brick their next draw potentially. And then and banish 1 card on the field. There's just one of these is destroy 1 monster on the field, and one of these is also just banish any card on the field. Crazy. Dang, dude. Okay, this card's really strong if you can get this set up. This feels really, really strong, especially behind like one of the like a Majesty type guy or with Monarchs Erupt. Like that seems really, really strong. I'll be honest, I don't know enough about Monarchs to know like where the engine stands with this. I know there are even some other generic cards that just stuff that puts bodies on the field pre-normal summon has also been pretty good for the deck to just get value going. I don't know enough though. It seems like the kind of deck that will still obviously struggle going second, but going first, it seems like they have more tools to kind of push and get to more powerful end situations with like culmination and stuff. Uh I think it's cool. I've always thought they looked cool. I've always thought the vibe was cool, but they always just played a style where they just played infinite floodgates. So I was never really too in love with where, with how the deck ended up. But maybe this puts them in a cooler position to actually just end on a more control style with the trap. The trap is crazy and it's multiple interactions, multiple really strong interactions, but it's interactions. It's not just straight floodgates. So we'll see. We'll see where people go with this. This is really cool. Let me know your thoughts down below if you are a avid Monarch fan. Let me know your thoughts on this support overall and where Monarchs land after this. I'd be very curious to see your guys' opinions on those. But other than that, I'm out of here for today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, guys, I will keep you posted. This is the first Duelist Advance reveal post like getting the cover support revealed, like the Utopia stuff. So this is kind of what I would assume is kind of our kickoff on starting to get into like the actual like more consistent reveals for Duelist Advance. So get hyped for that. I'm sure there'll be really cool stuff down the line in that set, and I will bring you that as anything drops. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.